I'm going to show you how you can set up a Shopify connection in your Gadget app, which will give you all of the tools you need to build full stack embedded admin apps in Shopify. Out of the box, Gadget gives you a Postgres database, Node.js backend, React frontend powered by Vite, and we've got a built-in background job system. We've got built-in Elasticsearch. All of this is going to be hosted for you. We'll build on cloud infrastructure and then can deploy to a production environment. The Shopify connection is going to handle all the Shopify boilerplate. OAuth, it'll subscribe to webhooks for you. You'll have a historical data sync built in. So you can really just focus on writing the code that's unique to your app. Let's get started here. I'm going to go to gadget.new. Select Shopify. I'm just going to build a custom app, but you can build public apps for the Shopify App Store as well. We do have built for Shopify apps built on Gadget. I'll give my app a name, Connect to Shopify Demo. And this will create a front end with React Router, just like if you're building with the Shopify CLI. Now, to start setting up my connection, I can use the AI assistant. If you describe your app, it will go ahead, select access scopes and data models for you and guide you through the connection process. I'm going to do it manually just to show off the manual process. But if you're not sure what data models you need, I do suggest using the AI assistant. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose a different method. I'm going to go Riley at gadget.dev. I'm going to select my organization, Riley tests stuff. And now this will automatically create both development and production apps in my Shopify dev dashboard for me. It'll create the TOMLs here in my Gadget project. And each Gadget project does have a development environment and a production environment to start. You can create unlimited development environments, but to start, one development environment, one production environment. Everything will be pre-stitched. So your production app will be pointing to your production environment in Gadget. Your development Shopify app will be pointed to your development environment. So I'm just going to set all of this up now. If you don't want to create a production Shopify app right now, you can always do that later. I'm going to press continue. Now here's where I'm selecting my API scopes and data models. Once again, if you don't know what you need, I do suggest asking the AI assistant. I am just going to select my customer's read access scope and the customer data model. If I hover over here, I see what fields are included as part of the webhook, and then what fields are not included in webhook payloads and are sync only, where you can get them on a data sync. And we have a whole list of resources, including resources for storefront and public apps at the bottom here. I'm happy with this. I get a little preview off to the right with my selected access scopes. We're going to automatically subscribe to webhooks that power this data model. So that's just going to be my customers create, update, and delete webhooks. Let's confirm and move on. Now, because I'm getting customer data, which is sensitive, I need to fill out a protected customer data access form. Now, I only need to do this if I am building a public app for the App Store. If I'm just building a custom app, I can actually go into my dev dashboard, select my custom distribution up front, and I don't need to fill out this form. But I'm just going to fill out the form to show you what you need to do. So I'm going to select app functionality. And I'm also going to fill out all of these for the individual fields, just so that I get all of my customer data here. Wonderful. Now that that is filled out, I can go ahead, say my form is completed and confirm, and I'll be able to install on one of my development stores. Okay, perfect. Test with sample data. It's a good dev store. Let's go ahead. Once again, Gadget is handling Shopify's auth for you. You can just install right away. And this is my front end. This is React. It is using Polaris web components. I can go take a peek at this page's code right here. If I go back to Gadget, I see I am successfully connected. This is my development environment's TOML. Let's take a peek at my files here. API is my backend. I'll take a peek at my data models in a bit, but if I go to web, my front end, routes, app, index, TSX, that is what is powering this page here. So if I go ahead and make a change, let's go hello. You can see hot module reloading does work out of the box. Does feel like building locally. And you can build locally. I will note that we do have a CLI. You can bring all of your Gadget project files down to your local machine, and it will keep them in sync as you build. There's a ggt dev command. I highly suggest you look into it. Enable source control. You can use your local agents to build. It's a great experience. Now, That's our front end. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Let's take a look at our data models. You see, I do have my Shopify customer data model. I can click on the schema. These are all the fields included in webhooks. I can also go ahead and add non-webhook fields that will only be fetched on sync. I'm not going to do that right now. I will, however, run a data sync. You see, we automatically have our CRUD actions, create, update, delete, which are subscribed to webhooks and powered by this data sync. So if I go into installs, I can go ahead and sync recent data. Now this will only sync the 10 parent records for my parent model. So I will only get a maximum of 10 customers. If I want all my historical data, I can use the sync API and it can go ahead. There are parameters. You can sync certain models. You can sync for a certain time range. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to click the button to get some test data for development. And I can check the data here in my data page and I see, yep, this is my customer data. That looks good. So my data sync is working. So this is the connection. You are connected. You can start building your app. There's one other thing I want to show off, and that's the TOML file. So like I mentioned, this shopify.app.development TOML is the TOML for this development environment connected to my dev app in my dev dashboard. As I go through the Gadget UI and select my access scope, select my webhooks, all of this information is reflected in the TOML. So the TOML is your app's source of truth, just like if you were building with the Shopify CLI. We also give you a production TOML. The shopify.app.toml is for your production environment. When you deploy your Gadget app, either in the UI or with our CLI as part of a CI pipeline, it will go ahead and run the Shopify CLI deploy command to push the changes from this TOML to your production Shopify app. Check out our documentation for more information on managing your TOMLs. And that's all I want to show off. This is how you can go ahead and set up a Shopify connection in Gadget. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and check out our documentation or ask us in our developer Discord. We're always hanging out in there and happy to help. Until next time, I hope you keep building more and coding less with Gadget.